Welcome to Big Blues Exploration. This week we're in the United States of America, in Sun Valley, Idaho. Sun Valley, Idaho is made up of 3 towns in the valley itself. You've got Bellevue, Haley and Ketchum. Ketchum is where you have Sun Valley, the main resort, and also Dollar Mountain, which is a much smaller part of Sun Valley. Bellevue has a population of 2,000, Haley has a population of 8,000, and Ketchum 10,000. This population expands dramatically during the winter and summer, with visitors staying in the many lodging options, or in my case, in the Airbnb option. Sun Valley really does live up to its name. It has been sunny all week that I have been here. That does mean that the snow melts quickly. So about 3 weeks ago, there was 5 feet of powder on some of the off-piste runs. Now, all you can see is dirt. Because of how much sun hits parts of the resort, 2/3 of the resort becomes unskiable for a large proportion of the year, which does limit you to some off-piste runs which are not as good as they were previously, and mainly to groomers. The problem with groomers here is that they're not really maintained that well. It's too warm for the piste to remain with firm ridges, as you would expect in higher parts of the US or in Europe. So in that respect, that is definitely a negative. Overall, Sun Valley as a location is extremely safe. Crime here is pretty low. It has a wonderful transport system with a free bus connecting Bellevue all the way through Ketchum and between the ski areas, running in half an hour schedules in the morning and evening, and very frequent service in the town of Ketchum itself. As it's a ski town, there is plenty of food options, from pizza to burgers and to Peruvian and other South American cuisines. It's a very multicultural place, which does make it quite enjoyable to visit on that sort of culinary scene. There are some issues with Sun Valley. One, I went into a ski shop to get my skis sharpened, and they bodged it. They said, "Oh, this is how our machine sharpens," and it was disgracefully unsharp. And they were like, the explanation was for the $59 at Strachowitz was, we have a $500,000 machine to buy, and blah blah blah. Oh, your skis were quite blunt. I'm like, no, that's not how it works. So at the moment, I'm trying to get a refund for that via our company, because that is terrible for somewhere that is meant to be a big skiing town to turn around and tell you that they can't sharpen your skis correctly. Other issues with Sun Valley at the moment is that they're getting ready for the World Cup finals. This does mean, for some reason in Sun Valley, that they have had to close about 1/3 of the best skiing on one part of the main mountain. Beautifully pisted, wonderful, but instead of taking 2 weeks to get ready, they've spent all season getting this run ready for the Super G and slalom, and it's been closed continuously now for over a week, making it 4 weeks of closures compared to the usual 2 weeks of closure that you would expect in other resorts across the world, which has definitely been very annoying. But moving away from the negatives, the great thing about Sun Valley is even in the weekend there are hardly any queues. Like 5 minutes is a long line in Sun Valley on a weekend, which is crazy because most times, especially in North America, you can wait 10, 15, 20 or even a couple of hours to get onto the lift in the morning. Another great part about Sun Valley is it has a very convenient airport within about 10 miles of Ketchum and 4 or 5 miles of Bellevue, and it's right next to Haley. You have your free bus as well, so there's no need for hiring a car or for paying for an expensive taxi if you could get them anyway, because they're so well connected here in Sun Valley. I think overall most of the time it's good for intermediates with some beginner runs, but when there's a lot of snow, it really snows, especially towards the end of March. Apparently is when the snow can be epically heavy, which means unless there has been a dry spell, then coming here as an expert and advanced skier is something that might not be totally advised unless you can get here soon after a large dump of fresh powder. Another thing that's great about Sun Valley in general is nice people, really safe place to visit, and everyone seems to be friendly. If you've got any problems or questions, just ask. On the first day here, I bumped into a gentleman that owned Graham Galleries in Ketchum, having a wonderful conversation with him and then the wife later on. So well worth a visit if you are in town. The art scene here, as referenced, is quite large. They have many art galleries. They have a theatre, which when I was visiting, they had a classical music festival at the time, and a renowned pianist, Joyce Yang, with some accompaniments from some orchestral music as well, was a really nice event. And this event was also free. They've, as part of this World Cup, they are putting on a music festival in conjunction with this. So Ketchum and the surrounding area is a very artsy town and is very interested in giving people lots to do, which making it much more appealing than other towns where skiing is popular. The problem with the traditional skiing town is that you have your pubs and your bars and restaurants in the evening, but you don't necessarily have the art scene or the events that are on the locals and visitors alike, which make your whole experience much more enjoyable than simply going skiing, going back to your hotel, and then you get to about 7 o'clock and you're bored. Not true with Sun Valley. There's lots of walking past that you can do in the evening, and there's plenty of other activities if you're into cycling in summer or if you're into the art scene. There really is a large amount to do, even in such a small community as Ketchum. Definitely worth a visit. And I thought, especially Dollar Mountain, even though it's a micro resort, it was still better than much of Scottish skiing was. It was really quiet. Just like the whole of Sun Valley, it's sunny for a lot of the year and does give lots of opportunities to find something for all the family, and well worth a visit. But you have to remember that it is not exactly the snowiest place and most reliable snow conditions. So if you come, you may get lots of sun, but your skiing experience may be dampened slightly. Overall, I'm going to give Sun Valley a 7.7, with some honourable mentions to the restaurants and cafes as well. The 7.7 is because the snow conditions aren't always most reliable. There is bouts of heavy snow, but a lot of the time, only about half of the area is skiable. When it comes to dining in Sun Valley, you've got many options as well in Ketchum, as well in Haley, and also in Bellevue. In Bellevue, I recommend Mahoney's Bar. In Haley or in Ketchum, I recommend Wise Guys. A pizza, great pizza, good price. There's also a good other amount of restaurants which offer reasonable options, but again, sometimes can be slightly expensive. And I would also recommend Graham Galleries as a nice place to visit and to have a look around. Both the wife and the husband are really nice people and have some really interesting works of art and good stories to tell you about the artists and the works that they have done at home and abroad. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Please stay tuned for more from Big Lou's Explorations. Have a great evening. Thank you.